Hey, what's going
And this is Jay.
on? And we the Eagles Collective, and we just had a crazy weekend with a lot of these games. We'll be talking about it soon. Be on the lookout and look for us. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Warren and this is Jay, and we're here to talk a little bit about the recap of just everything that happened throughout this this crazy week of football. Um, Jay, let's start first with one of the first NFC games. What were your thoughts on the Saints game? What were you thinking when we
Oh,
saw that?
we know the Giants are not ready, even though they had a good week last week. They're not ready, So I'm not, I don't expect them to lay down for the Eagles, but I expect the Eagles to win those games. Not, I expect them to win them. But the biggest takeaway for me is, I was all good just a week ago for Dallas, right?
Yeah. hmm Here we go. That's what they said,
Yeah.
right?
Here we
Here we
go.
go. Here we go. Yeah. So
uh, Here we go to
yeah,
Buffalo.
the
Here we
biggest
go.
yeah, the biggest takeaways I got the Saints kind of dominated over the Giants. You got the the Panthers and the Falcons. That was a nail biter game. Weather's crazy. Um that 49ers and Cardinals game. Um I really like that game, honestly. Like the Cardinals had them up to like that third quarter, and then they kind of just gave out. They had no more gas, and the 49ers just overtook them. And I thought that was a pretty good game. Um, but yeah, but the biggest game was that
I'm not gonna
Cowboys game,
lie.
man.
49ers are steamrolling people right now. I'm not gonna lie. They
They are.
definitely
They're
look like
they're
filthy like
dominant.
last year. And
They're
they're the team
imposing
to
their
beat right
will.
now. They're the
hmm
team to beat right now. That's what I'm just hoping the Eagles could win out and bring them back to the link again.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, that would definitely be the team that I know a lot of people after the beatdown that we got, we shouldn't be saying, "Hey, we want them again." But I think with everything that's going on and with the changes we're about to talk about, I would like to see how we can compete against them. But
Absolutely.
but
I tell
yeah,
you, that game was fluky. But yeah, shout out to Dwayne. He just said, "What's up, brothers? What's up, Dwayne?" Um,
what's going on,
yeah,
Dwayne?
that game was fluky, man. Remember, 212 yards after the catch. Very poor tackling in that 49ers game. Held them to -6 yards in the first quarter. That was one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. From how it starts to finish. Like you thought the Eagles were
Yeah,
going to dominate, and then they ended up dominating. But it's the NFL.
yeah. The 49ers, I don't know, it felt like they were a little bit off rhythm for a little bit, but
At the
they
beginning,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
yeah they
They
got
gave up an
back.
opening
They
touchdown on the opening drive. They gave up a touchdown right away on the opening drive. Came back, scored, but they were going a little back and forth. But it wasn't a walk in the park. Just same way the Giants game, I don't think will be walks in the park for the Eagles.
Yeah, I personally think when we play the Cardinals, we can't sleep on them just because Jonathan Gannon has that experience playing on our team, and he may know a few weaknesses and know how to attack us. So we definitely can't sleep on the Cardinals.
Man, personal
I think that's
resentment,
probably
man.
our challenging
Eagles
game.
fans don't like him. We don't like Jonathan Gannon, man.
Yeah, he knows we don't like him, bro. He knows we don't. So he's gonna do whatever he can to try to get back at us. But we'll see. We'll see that. Now the next game I want to bring up is I think the Cowboys and Bills game was a game that kind of reassured me as an Eagles fan. Um, and I think it also opened up eyes to the NFL as well. That first off, 31 to 10, Cowboys Bills. That's after the beatdown we got from the Cowboys, and just seeing how competitive we were against the Bills. That's that has to open your eyes to like, hey, at least our Eagles, we don't fold at the end. We don't fold. Yeah, we had some issues, but I'm telling you guys, it was a game based off of rest. It was a rested game. Like that's what hurt our team. It was a game of rest and it was a game of the defense. So I think this kind of showed that, honestly. What do you think, Jay?
Honestly, Dallas is not who they say they are. I'm not saying they're a terrible football team, but they're just not as good as the hype has been around them. And this goes on every year. We know we've been dating back a couple years consistently. This is what they do. Dak was in the MVP conversation. And what do they say about Dak? He can't win games with the number one seed on the line, with the division on the line, with his MVP candidacy on the line. What does he do? He gets waxed in Buffalo, just like Dwayne said. They got waxed in Buffalo. He can't play in the big games. Until Dak plays in big game, wins those big type of games, because Philly was their Super Bowl. That's why Eagles fans are laughing at them, because at the end of the day, you guys put so much into last week. You had nothing left in the tank for Buffalo. And I just really don't think they're that good on the road. I mean, they're 3-4 on the road. I don't know how he was an MVP candidate with a negative record on the road. 7-0 at home. It's just like, it's like a tale of two tapes with the Dallas Cowboys. Averaging 24 points entering in the game yesterday on the road, averaging 39 at home. Good
Yeah.
good teams win on the road. Good teams win on the road. No matter what. They win on the road. And Dallas can't. So at the end of the day, I just see the collapse coming. Miami's not going to be easy for them. Miami's rolling. Miami's trying to get the number one seed. So is Dallas trying to get the number one seed. But once again, my Dallas is not as good on the road. So don't be surprised if they drop two, just like we dropped two in our gauntlet. They're entering their gauntlet, and we dropped two at the end of our gauntlet.
Yeah. And that's why I hate to say it too, and I think you can agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really difficult talking to people that actually pay attention to football in comparison to people that just like the team, they don't pay attention to all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
those fans that you say, all right, you're a fan. Tell me at least 5 people that play on the team, they can't give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like when
Or
we
I always tell
when
people
we
just name the offensive line. That tells me where you at as far as the knowledge of a team. But
yeah,
that's okay. Not every fan is gonna know like
but and
full
I get that.
roster.
I get that too, but we understand why certain things happen. So like that's the way I look at it at the end of the day. So the way that we played up against the 49ers and the Cowboys, like I said, that was a game of rest. That was the rest advantage. And we had a defensive coordinator issue. So how do we fix that? We get the players more rest. And how do we fix the defensive coordinator issue? We'll be talking about that soon. And I feel like now the team is more confident in what they're doing. They're coming in with honestly like a little spark. Like what's going on? We just get a little spark, and this helps us just this kind of just puts that reassurance back in us that we still got this. Especially after the way we played the Bills. That's my biggest thing. The way we played the Bills reassured me that we can take this home.
Yeah, that was like a
And
playoff type game versus them, versus the
yeah,
Bills. That was like a playoff type of atmosphere game. The
it
way
really
that went.
was. And
But you know
yeah,
what?
so
You know what,
what's up?
Warren? The defensive change at this. Think about it. The Eagles are 10-3, and they're making a defensive change. What does that tell you? I'm not saying it's desperation, but I'm telling you that they don't want to score under the season. They cannot. You got all the way until this point. If we can, fine tune a couple things, what can we lose by basically firing or demoting the side? Which I don't understand, because I wouldn't want to keep the guy in the building if I demoted him. You think he's gonna put out his best effort? Would you put out your best effort at your job if they demoted you from the top position to the bottom? So I'm kind of conflicted on that decision, but any change right now would be good for the Eagles defensively. I mean, just let teams score 10 straight drives straight, spanning over 2 games. They couldn't stop a snail. I keep telling people, no matter what coverage this guy was playing, and you could keep saying it's the personnel. Listen, there's teams with worse personnel, and at least they're getting stops. This team went through a period, those last couple games, they could not get a stop. And then the
Exactly.
second half of the Cowboys game is where I saw a difference. I don't know if that's because Sidney Brown was in. I don't know if there was second half adjustments. All I know is that Dallas scored 3 field goals in the second half, 9 points. The Eagles' offense only scored 7. They could have put themselves in that game had the offense not sputtered.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Matt Patricia, he was a head coach in the past. We know that he comes from the Belichick tree.
Mhm.
I think what we need right now is a seasoned defensive coordinator, a
Absolutely.
seasoned coach, somebody that's seen these schemes, like that's been in the battlefield. Honestly, we need somebody that knows what they're doing, and I think right now they're making a good decision. We can't, as fans, we can't just say Eagles are in panic mode. I think it is smart for them to make this change. They see what the issue is. If we're putting signs out there outside the NovaCare Center saying "fire Desai," like we're putting signs like that out, and then we don't fire him, but we actually make a change to what's going on. We can't say we're in panic mode. First off, it
Mhm.
shows the Eagles are listening to the things the fans are saying, and they also see what we're saying too, and they're doing it without throwing their players and their staff under the bus. So I respect it. I think it's a good move. I think putting them in the box, there may be something that decides seeing that that still makes him valuable to the team. And I
Yeah,
think having Matt Patricia out there for the defensive play calling is going to benefit us. Um, that's where I look at with this. But yeah, I think it's a good move, and I would like to see how the defense actually performs on the Seahawks. I think this is a good team to kind of just show that performance right now.
I think the first when you first opened up what you were saying, the seasoned vet coach, like we that's what the Eagles need. With this type of roster, we couldn't deal with a rookie coordinator, our second year coordinator, whatever the side was, because he was a coordinator in Chicago. But I just, like I said, it's just a weird move as far as demoting him, because I don't know what effort he's gonna put out. You're right. He may be work better from the box, but having Patricia on the sideline today and making the defensive calls, I'm super ecstatic to watch tonight's game, whether Jalen plays or not, because defensively, I want to see what Matt Patricia is gonna dial up. Like
Yeah,
I really do, because you know what, the Eagles play calling on defense and offense been bad. But if you ask me who I would get rid of first, it would have definitely been the side. Brian
yeah,
Johnson
most
is right
definitely.
behind him in line.
Yeah, Brian Johnson is making plays, but I think Brian Johnson has a little bit more assistance than what Desai has. I feel like they gave Desai full power to like do what you want to do with this defense. Let's see what your thought process is, and he's just not performing. And I'm pretty sure Matt Patricia sees how we can be playing and how we can be scheming up, and we're just not doing it. And I think it's good that they're giving him that experience.
The comment you just put up right there, I don't know how we can see things and it takes months to react. That's crazy to me. Dwayne wrote that. You know what? You know what, Dwayne? You're right. It took them all this time to react and make this move, but you know why? It's because they were 10-1 before these last two losses. It's like they were almost like in denial that this guy was not the guy and just letting him keep going. Imagine we get to a far game and this guy blows it how Gannon blew it in the Super Bowl. As far as defensive play calling, like, so I'm just glad we made this change right now, because we're still in position for the number one seed. We can still win out. Everything can still fall into place, but a change has to be made. A change. They couldn't afford to lose in Seattle to then try to make a change versus these three inferior opponents coming up. It's good that they made it now. It's good that they made it. This is a little late, but it's better that they made the change now.
And I think Matt Patricia, this is a job interview for him. This is an on-site job
Yeah,
interview.
yeah.
Like
Listen,
this is
man, he
this is
took a
a
back seat.
yeah,
He got time to reflect, man. He was on the top of the world,
yeah.
defensive coordinator, Super Bowl winning defense. He was at the top of the
Hmm.
mountain, man. He had to come back and go behind the scenes. So you don't know what fires build up in him. Remember that happened to Howie. Chip Kelly demoted Howie. Howie came back, built that team. So sometimes guys just sit back, reflect, and come back and take their spot again. That's how I feel
Yeah,
about Matt
sometimes you
Patricia.
got to just sit back and just reevaluate all
Yeah.
things that you've done in the past, your mistakes, your success, and say, "Hey, I can come in this way. I can react that way." And I think it's good for him. Like if we get a new defensive coordinator out of this, and it happens to be a season one, I'll take it. Like
Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah, and it will take them a few games to settle, and that's why it's good, because there's 4 games left, including tonight.
Hmm.
There's 4 games
It'll take
left.
a
They,
few
they could
games.
settle. They could settle. They could settle with a new scheme in 4 games, and prepare themselves and hopefully get that first round bye, and then they'll be able to prepare that whole week. So I'm very
Mhm.
excited for the defense more than anything. Jalen's illness, we're gonna get to it, but that's another worry on me. But the
Yeah,
defense, I'm just hoping to see it. I mean, anything can be better than deciding what was going on before this, man, in his last two games. And even before that, nail biting games where we're in control. We won these games. We never really dominated. We're just winning. Like just winning.
yeah,
You want to
yeah.
do
We can
win.
go ahead and get started in the injury report if you want,
Yeah,
bro.
go ahead. Start the injury report, bro.
Yeah, so right now we got Jalen Hurts. Apparently he is suffering through an illness right now. When the team traveled up to Seattle, he kind of traveled separately just to avoid getting anybody else sick. Um, Darius Slay went through surgery. I want to say Friday or Thursday, and so
Yeah.
he'll be out for the next few games. He's expected to come back maybe the last two games before the season. Cunningham is currently out, and Cam Jurgens is going to be out. So
Man, that has been
it's
tonight.
yeah, so it's a lot of what ifs going on right now, especially with the new DC. And I personally think that Hurts will play if Geno plays.
They say Geno's a long shot. I think Hurts has a better shot than play. Like I saw the video of Hurts walking to the taxi, heading up to the plane. It looked. He's moving. We don't know what he feels inside, but I think he'll. I think he will play tonight too. I don't think Geno will though.
Yeah, yeah. By the time the playoffs come, we will be straight. I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't see him missing the game, but I think this is the time that we really need him, and I think we would like to see. Hey, we want to see him out there and perform, and we
Listen,
want
I
to
don't
see
want to go
him.
through the stress
We
of a
want to see
back.
how he reacts to the last game. Honestly, that's really what we want to see.
Yeah,
Um,
because of the loss, you wanted to have a response to two back-to-back losses in a game in which he led with the first fumble. That first fumble really kind of set the tone in that game. So when Jalen fumbled, I think it was at the 20,
it
because
did.
all three fumbles was in Cowboys territory. But that first fumble, I think it was at the 20, AJ at the 37, and Devontae at the 12. Like, look at how close the Eagles were. All three fumbles were in field goal range. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, most definitely. So I think Shaq Leonard's going to get some more reps in. With Slay out, that means um, Keely Ringo, my bad,
Yeah.
will be the starting cornerback. I'm excited to see him.
Hmm.
That
Full
means
week of
Sidney Brown's
preparation,
also going to
Warren.
get some reps. Yeah,
You got a
and
full
then
week.
Reed Blankenship will be starting too, which would be a good thing. Seeing him and Sidney Brown both on the field would be helpful. I'm excited for this game. It's kind of like for a lot of us, it's a prove yourself game.
Hmm.
It's a prove
Hmm.
yourself game.
Hmm.
But yeah, we didn't want to stay on here too long. We wanted to get a little bit of you guys' thoughts and reactions to what went on. Jay, do you have anything that you kind of wanna put out there?
No, I just want to say that I'm excited to see Patricia in his defense more than anything tonight and see what he mixes up. What packages he, but what are we gonna do differently tonight? And there's no tape on him defensively or what his scheme is. I don't think he's gonna change it too much, but it's gonna be interesting. I enjoy your podcast. Well done. Thank you, Dwayne. We appreciate you, bro. Appreciate all your
We
support from day
appreciate you
one,
too,
bro.
Dwayne. Thank you. Um, but yeah, like we'll see what happens. I'm excited for this game. I hope it's a game to where we see what our young cornerbacks can do. Um,
I want
and
Ringo's
hopefully the
speed
defensive
is going to
line.
be on display tonight, and a full week of preparation for him, man. I always say the best way to learn a job is on experience. You could go to school, you could do what you want to do, you could read a book, but until you're in the field, you're never going to really know. So it's good to see this. It's good to see this tonight,
Before we head out, how many sacks you looking at for this game?
bro. Listen, and another thing too. Tonight, the trend ends in Seattle. The losing to Seattle all ends. We have to come ferocious. We got to come out there swinging. I want to see this team win in a different type of way that they've been winning these previous games. And as far as sacks, bro, give me three.
Three?
Yeah,
Okay. I'm going 5 sacks this game.
nice, nice.
5 sacks.
If we end up
One.
at four, we'll be good in between.
Exactly. There you go. Hey, y'all, we appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Also, check us out on IG. And hey, if you'd love to join our Facebook group, you're more than welcome. This is the Eagles Collective. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds.
Go Birds.